cannot speak this morning. Good morning, beautiful people. Oh my goodness. My voice was like, no, we are not doing that. Good morning, everyone. Hope you all are thriving, not just surviving. So, we are going to be starting out with some gossip and then we're going to be starting out with some gossip. We're going to be getting into some scandals, and then we're going to be getting into some controversial parts. Sorry, I just need to stretch. How's everyone doing? Good morning. Just stretching before everyone gets here. Good morning. Hello. Hello. I see no one's in here yet, or at least it's showing that no one's in here yet. Don't know if that's true or not. So anyway, a good chunk of the live sometimes, like at the beginning, is always me just literally talking to myself, just because like I'll go live for about 2 minutes and then no one pops in here. Oh, okay. Now we got people. Hello. Hello. Good morning, Reverend Potty Mouth. Lisa, hello. Hi from South Florida. Well, hello. How's it going? Oh my goodness, y'all. Today, it's going to be a very short live stream, okay? Work has been really, really tough for me, so I'm trying to like balance being a content creator and working, because your boy's working class. And so I have just been trying to like spend time with my family, have my own personal life, do my content. It's been a little bit challenging, but we're figuring it out. And so, I want to start with this. It's Friday, so it's a little bit more lighthearted, and also because it's Friday, I'm going to report on stories that you may not have heard about. So I'm going to be debuting this one. I'm also going to be talking about one other small one with Susie Wiles, the chief of staff for Trump. And then I want to get to explaining a very controversial pardon that Donald Trump has done. So please make sure to like the stream. It's going to be short, but jam-packed. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And we're just going to go right along with it. So anyway, here we go. That was not a good tongue pop. Hold on. Good morning, beautiful people. Whew, do we have a story for you? All right. Nancy Mace. She is a congresswoman from South Carolina. I believe she represents the 1st Congressional District. She is a Republican. And she is someone that is kind of known as being like a Congress Karen. Like, she is known for being a very, very controversial figure. Someone that's very much all up in your face. She recently went viral for harassing a gay guy, literally by wearing what she claimed were Daisy Dukes, and they were just jeans. They were just like khaki, nice shorts. Anyway, it was a whole thing. She's known for being incredibly transphobic, also trying to weaponize her own experience dealing with assaults as then she can then berate others. It's a whole thing. So Nancy Mace is someone that loves the theater. I'm not gonna say that like she's dumb or anything, because I think she's actually super smart. She just knows how to play people. This is someone who's, I believe, is incredibly analytical. She knows how to play into getting public responses. And so I think some people might say like, oh, these right-wing, hacks are really, really dumb. I think that they're, in some cases, a little bit naive or silly, but also they can be incredibly smart because they know how to manipulate people. So anyway, this story came across Mediaite, which for those people who don't know, Mediaite is very much like breaking news on the ground. Sometimes it's a little bit more gossipy, so that's why I always like to start with it and then extrapolate out further. But since it's Friday, I think we're going to be sticking mostly within the gossip and scandals just because it's Friday. And so I saw this story. Nancy Mace, Congresswoman from South Carolina. Nancy Mace staffers forced to make burner accounts to defend and boost the Congresswoman online report. I am not surprised that this is what it's come to. Instead of having your staffers focus on constituent services to make sure that people in your district are being heard, or, trains are running on time, the bus stop is, but is the bus still running? Like making sure constituent services are heard, people's schools are being funded, people, like all of these nitty gritty things, like the trash is being picked up, like those things that sometimes like your congressperson, you know, those constituent services is a huge part of being in Congress. And if you're having your staffers literally focus on being a keyboard warrior defending you because of your own craziness, that's just obnoxious. Like, imagine being a congressional staffer and you're in there to like help the constituents in the district and help the congressperson like represent. And then you're being forced to literally make burner accounts to defend your person online for the insanity. And like, knowing that it's Nancy Mace makes it even worse because, again, this is someone who literally goes viral for doing and saying the most crazy crap, okay? She's a super known, like, transphobic person. She picks fights with strangers in comment sections and in stores, and she's very theatrical. I've done a whole live stream about it. Definitely go and check that out. But let's get further into the report here. Former staffers for Representative Nancy Mace, a Republican from South Carolina, claimed that they had to make burner accounts while working for the Congresswoman so that they could boost her image online and fight with critics. Jake LaHoot, I don't know if I'm saying that right, reported for Wired, which is an online publication, that former staffers of Mace claimed they were setting up burner accounts on a variety of social media platforms to monitor what people were saying about her and bolster her image. She would also encourage staffers to create personal burner accounts so they could defend her against critics, according to those staffers, all of whom chose to remain anonymous. Now, I do want to give one small little piece of feedback. When I am reading these things and people are like, oh, they chose to remain anonymous, I just want to be very, very fair and critical here. Look, I understand that if you can't break the story if people don't want to be named. I get that. Like, if you have to say that they're anonymous if they don't want their name to be there. I get it. But like, oh, I got an anonymous tip, an anonymous tip, an anonymous tip. Sometimes it's hard for people to decipher what to believe in that sense. So I think it's cool and great that we bring these things to light, but if you don't put your name on it, then like, it erodes the credibility. And so that could go for anything, whether it's a scandal for anyone of any political affiliation. And it makes it hard for the audience to then be able to trust the information. So that's one thing I just want to put on everyone's radar, because something that I really care about trying to talk about on this channel is media literacy. Always be reading media. And even though I'm not a big fan of Nancy Mace, that's not going to stop me from questioning and being critical of when I see stuff like that. Whenever you see anonymous tip, it's like, okay, anonymous tip. Ooh, an anonymous tip. But like, still, just wanted to throw that out there. You know, and I get that, you know, some people don't want to come forward and say their name and like put their name on it, and that's totally valid. It's just there is an element where not literally putting your name on it can like lead to an erosion of trust. So the anonymous staffer says, we had to make multiple burner accounts and go and reply to comments saying things that weren't even true, even Reddit forums. So, and also I do want to say the reason why I think this story is very authentic and I trust it is because it is very well known that staffers for Nancy Mace are not happy for her. Like, there are some more public figures that say, like, I was a former staffer for Nancy Mace and she was crazy. Like, I was actually following, there's this like former legislative aide that lives out in, I think in Montana or Idaho, and she's pretty vocal on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. And she's very vocal about her experience working for Nancy Mace and how it was awful. So I always think it's important for us to believe victims, even if they don't have the great idea, even if they have a different political ideology, because you believe the people now, but you still have to vet the claim, but there's also evidence to support it. Anyway, so we had multiple accounts, multiple burner accounts, and we had to go and reply to comments saying things that weren't even true. One ex-employee said, we were congressional staff, and there were actual things that we could be doing to help constituents. That is so fair. It's like, yeah, now we're having to go and defend our congressperson online. Mace, a congresswoman who's made technology central to much of her agenda, has a history of using bot accounts. I've talked about bots and how they are so dangerous, especially within the political news space. There are people that will just go and program bots. You can buy bots off the internet, and you're like, well, what is a bot? Bot is short for robot. Basically an AI that goes through and acts as a person to amplify a message. That can be weaponized for so many different things. We saw a lot of pro-Trump bots during this election. Now, I think that bots are awful. Doesn't matter what their political affiliation is. What I'm specifically pointing out, and you say, oh, well, there's a person behind the bot. Right, there is. I could program a bot. I could program one. I could program 10,000, but that amplifies my voice 10,000 times. Now, you'd be like, well, wouldn't you like that? Of course I would. But like, I'm not the only person in the world. So the idea behind using bots as an illusion of public support for stuff can be really, really damaging. Now, it can be favorable towards you or your mission or whatever, but it gives this illusion of how everyone else feels. And call me crazy, but like, we live in a democratic republic. We live in a democracy and a republic. If we use AI to create this illusion of some support or public disagreement with something, it erodes the whole foundation of trust in the community and stability for our nation. So it can be really damaging for us to constantly have these bots be unregulated, and it leads to an erosion of trust, and it makes it hard for viewers, working class people, citizens to know what to trust and what not to trust. You know, later on, I want to start talking a lot more about the dangers of AI, because without any sort of regulation, I think that the way the AI is going personally is really, really, really dangerous. Like, even if it was regulated, it could be incredibly dangerous. That all being said, like, gosh, I mean, this report really does show you what Nancy Mace really spends her time doing. Because according to Wesley Donahue, whose consulting firm worked for Mace in 2022 to 2024, so like recently, 2 to 3 years ago, during a 2023 investigation into Mace's ex, whom she accused of sexual harassment and voyeurism, Donahue made mention of Mace's tech-savvy ways. She programs her own bots. She sets up Twitter burner accounts. This is a kind of thing that she does. She sits all night on the couch and programs bots because she's very, very computer savvy. She controls her own voter database. She programs a lot of her own website. She programs Facebook bots, Instagram bots, Twitter bots. It's what she does for fun. Again, this is a congresswoman. Like, instead of spending your time doing things to help your constituents, you're programming bots and keyboard warriors to defend you. What the crux of what I'm saying here is, it's so absurd on its face, but also this is the most 2025 thing I've heard. Like, you know, I think that bots are going to be a huge problem. They're going to be a huge, huge problem, and AI needs to be regulated now. The difficult part with AI is you say, oh, well, there's a person behind the bots. Yes. If I program 10,000 bots to say all of what I wanted to say, is that abridging freedom of speech? Because I programmed them to say it like that. So our Constitution, our Supreme Court could say, well, there's one person that programmed 10,000 bots. And so you're abridging that person's creative personal freedoms, or, you know, freedom of speech or freedom of the press, in order to regulate those things. And you'll say, well, yeah, okay, sure. But like, you're creating 10,000 other voices. So you're also drowning out the freedom of speech for other people. Exactly. But do you really trust the Supreme Court to be able to decipher that nuance or find a constitutional reason? Like, this is why AI can be so dangerous. This is why bots can be so dangerous. And this is the thing. I would hold this position no matter if the bots are saying something that I personally find favorable. If I programmed a bot to say that Scott Johnson is the most handsome person in the world, well, sure, I might like that personally, but is that how everyone else feels? Is that what is representative of the country? Who knows? Maybe not. Point is, Point is, it gives this illusion of public support, which doing that in a democracy where we believe that one person equals one vote for people who are eligible for voting of certain age, citizenship, all of that, it can be really dangerous. Even if it's something that you personally might like elevated, when it is the shoe on the other foot, it's going to be a complete disaster. We've already seen people being duped by anything with AI. And AI is coming whether we like it or not to also replace people's jobs. That all being said, these kinds of stories are funny, but then also really have a big thing that is a huge issue. So anyway, I appreciate every single one of you. I need to skedaddle because I have to get to work. I know, I have to get to work. I've only been on for like 15 minutes, but I have to get to work. Because your boy is working class. I plan on trying to produce a lot more content. I just dropped a video about Donald Trump pardoning the Chrisleys. And actually, really quickly, before I go, I do want to highlight one story. So, hold on just a second. Where is it? Hold on. So, I wanted to report on this one story specifically just because of the photo. For those people who do not know, Susie Wiles is Donald Trump's chief of staff, right? Well, apparently, there's been a huge breach in national security where someone is impersonating her, which, now, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, the executive branch right now at all, but that is a serious thing. For someone to be breaching into the government and impersonating a federal official, that is huge. This would be just as much of a problem if it was under a Biden administration or Kamala Harris. So this is a huge issue. That being said, this picture is from the Associated Press, which Donald Trump seems to have some weird personal grievance against the Associated Press. And so I just thought it's funny that, like, they used this picture of Susie Wiles, which is not the most flattering picture. She's like, I just thought it was funny. But apparently there's someone that is impersonating Trump's chief of staff, and it is leading to national security issues. And right now the FBI is investigating it, but like, I just had to zoom in on that photo. I feel so bad for her. And this was reported in the Wall Street Journal last night. So I'm going to be making a video about that. I'm also going to be making a video about Nancy Mace with AI. I'm also going to be talking about, where is it? There it is. So I'm actually currently editing a video right now about Paul Wyzak, which is a guy. Oh my gosh, Paul Wyzak is a fraudster that literally ripped off the government, the IRS, your hard-earned taxpayer dollars for his own personal enrichment. This is a guy who has a nursing home empire, has like hundreds of employees underneath him. And then, you know how like employees will have taxes withheld? He decided to personally use those withheld taxes and actually put them in his own pocket, and then goes and buys like yachts, luxury clothes, everything, and then try to like hide it, and then doesn't pay his taxes. Guess what? Donald Trump just pardoned him. Why? Because his mother is a lady named Elizabeth Fago, who is a huge mega fundraiser for Republicans, lives in Palm Beach County, Florida, near Mar-a-Lago, may I add. And like, she went to Donald Trump's, like one of Donald Trump's galas, and like donated $1 million to his campaign in exchange for having her son, this guy that ripped off all these people, that they basically stole the money that were from taxes withheld for his own personal enrichment. So like the mom had to literally go and pay Trump $1 million to get him to pardon her son. Like, I'm editing a video that I filmed a couple days ago about that. It's like, girl. Anyway, I have to get going. I love all of you so much. You're awesome. Shout out to my amazing moderators in here. Just found you, just subscribed. Oh, thank you. I know I have to go. It's unfortunate, but I have to get to work. I love all of you so much. Shout out to my amazing moderators in here. Cherie, Elisa, Akicha. I love all of you so much. Kate, Ellie, I cannot do any of this without you all. Cherie, you're amazing. Let's see. Jenny, love you, Jenny. And all my good friends in here. Kate, y'all incredible. Anyway, just remember, go and check out my latest video about the Chrisleys, because that's good, okay? Go and check out my latest video, because it's a longer video, but I promise there's some really good stuff in it. So anyway, just remember that you are beautiful, you are loved, you are valid, you are strong, and you are fierce. Don't let anyone or anything ever, 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 ever dim your shine. I love all of you so, so much. Bye!